Our next guests are an iconic Grammy Award-winning folk rock duo who've been performing together for more than 4 decades. Their new career-spanning documentary, Indigo Girls. It's Only Life After All is available on demand now. Let's take a look.
There was something about our queerness, the forcefulness of our energy that was a turnoff to a lot of those folk clubs.
I had this feeling that where we needed to be to really do what we wanted to do was more in the world of alternative and post-punk, because we would be free to have influences that were different and to play loud and to have crowds that were raucous and to express ourselves in this bigger way. And we didn't have to be polite women that were singing and sitting down with our little guitars.
Please welcome to the show, Indigo Girls, Amy Ray and Emily Saliers. It's such an honor to have you both here.
It's good to be here.
Very exciting time with both the documentary and then, of course, Closer to Fine, featured in the Barbie soundtrack. What a cool thing that must have been to be a part of.
I mean, it fell out of the sky. It was just, at first we were like, Barbie, I don't know, we better check our political consciousness. And then it's like, Greta Gerwig, okay.
Yeah. What about with the documentary? Did you have any hesitation about sort of, doing a film about the last 40 years of this incredible career?
You know, when we met Alexandria Bombach, the director, we just had a really good feeling about her and had seen her other films. And our basic, reply to her about a documentary was we want it to be sort of about the community and not really like a vanity piece, just about Indigo Girls. And she was down with that. And I think that was her vision, too. And we just had faith in her. We kind of handed everything over to her, and then it's her baby. She did it.
How soon into your career, Emily, did you realize the community you had with your fan base?
Well, at first, our community was our parents, because they were the only ones who, we started in high school. We got fake IDs. We started playing in bars with the blessing of our parents. But little by little...
No hesitation on the parents back in the day?
No, but I mean,
Well, there was a couple of gigs, maybe.
Well, we call them fern bars, like sort of Applebee type places.
Okay, gotcha.
They always had fern, so we played a lot of those. But the truth is that...
bars.
Yeah, that's what we called them.
Okay.
But the truth is that very early on, we found a community of musicians. Like Athens was rich with music, and Atlanta was rich with music, and there was a lot of support in the communities, and there was a lot, like a real motley crew and diverse group of people, musicians who hung out together. So very early on when we started to play, we found a community. And then when we started to do like small acts of activism, like finding about a local, like a women's shelter, or women and children's center, we found, let's just play music and raise awareness, a little bit of money. We never could raise very much at that point, and then give a voice to this place. And then then we really started to find our community through our activism.
That's really great. You mentioned Athens, and you went on tour early on with REM, which must have been some pretty big shows. And then you guys repaid the favor back to the community. I know Brandi Carlile would go out on tour with you in the early days. Was it nice to be able to, sort of throw that ladder down to the next generation?
I mean, it's the way we were brought up, like we played during people's breaks when we were kids, and they let us have gigs with them. And then it's not just like, we're not like, let us help you up. It's more like we find people that we're just big fans of. We heard Brandi's music. We were like, she's amazing. We had this band called the Shadow Boxers, 3-5 Human, the list goes on. We've had Lucy Wainwright Roach was just touring with us. So it's just people, we really love their music. And then sometimes it's someone like Brandi who becomes huge.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Did you, going back and looking both at archival footage and looking back at early songs you wrote before maybe even you recorded your first album, was there anything that you found cringy to read? I think, when you think about young people writing, that's often can be like, oh, son of a gun.
Well, there are songs that we'll never play again. I mean, they're so cringy. And then I even could think of a song that we still play where I actually changed the lyric because I couldn't stand it anymore. It was so terrible.
And does the audience know? Or are they like singing along and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa?
Well, because we're very transparent, I'll say like, guys, I'm going to change the lyric right now, so you're going to notice it if you know this song. And then it's like that. Then we just sing.
And do you, be honest, do you feel like when they hear the change, are they like, oh, thank God she changed it?
Probably.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody's like purists. They're like, whoa, this is way better.
Yeah. Well, like, what took you so long?
It also seems like you have an incredible wealth of photos, old photos. Was this something you guys were doing maybe more than another young band was doing at the time? Were you aware of or did you just like the idea of capturing what you were going through?
For me, I mean, my dad was an archivist, like a hoarder of like film and photography, and just he had a dark room, and I learned a lot about photography and film from him. So I was obsessed with doing that, just for us, just for me, just for us. And then when he passed on, my mom handed me a bunch of boxes of things, and it was like, a plethora of videotapes. And then fans would send us stuff, and I just kept everything, and then Sony had some great archives of our stuff. So and Emily and Russell, our manager, and Adrian, his son, everybody worked together, and we had a lot of stuff. I took pictures a lot.
You mentioned you started playing together in high school, met in elementary school.
Yeah.
This is a real, be nice to the, if any elementary school kids are watching. You never know who your career-spanning partner will be.
I mean, that is true.
Do you have any memory of the day you met, or did you just kind of remember the era you met?
Well, I had this little band called the Blue Skies. We were in 7th grade, I guess. So I was aware of Amy because she was that other girl who played guitar in elementary school.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the moment or the first time, because we really didn't become like pals until we went to high school together, which started at 8th grade where we were.
Okay.
And we joined the chorus, and then we became like really like best friends. And then all the playing together and learning songs, and our AP English teacher, Ellis Lloyd, who supported us, that all sprung out of that.
Well,
I do remember seeing her in the cafeteria with the Blue Skies across at a table or something. I just have this memory of seeing her singing and thinking, like, so much more than I can do right now. I'm going to learn how to do that.
I mostly I'm just like, I can't believe I didn't go to that high school. Like, I never walked into the cafeteria and was like, is that the Blue Skies? I'm so glad you guys are going to stick around and do some music for us as well. Amy Rain, Emily Saliers, everybody. Indigo Girls, It's Only Life After All is on demand now. We'll be right back with a performance of the Indigo Girls.